Recording.
Okay. Chapter 2 is communicating in a digital age. So today we're going to be examining digital origins, qualities of digital channels, the power of the crowd, and how you can overcome some of the digital challenges. So what are the origins of digital? In the 70s, Vint Cerf and Robert Kahn led a group to develop a new protocol that would connect computers and allow them to communicate with each other. And in the 90s, they formed the Internet Society, which was to promote open development, evolution, and the use of the internet for the benefit of people worldwide. So since the 90s, we have had the internet. It became faster in the 2000s, but it was still predominantly used by white males. But this is where we see the rise of web-based social networking sites. So you'll see Facebook in 2004, Twitter that no longer exists came in 2006. It is now X. So currently, 2/3 of adults use some form of social media. And we do this because our smartphone is not being used just as a phone anymore. We use it to plan things, to message one another, to schedule appointments. So what are some of the qualities of the digital channels? One is the synchronicity of messaging, being able to message each other in real time, so that when I send you a question, I immediately get an answer. So we need to recognize our expectations. Not everybody is as tied to their phone as other people are. Some of them may answer your text message within 5 minutes. Some may not answer it for 2 or 3 days. And you may find this is a pattern with certain individuals, that they are not going to answer quickly while others do. You also need to realize the situation. If certain people are in a situation, they may not be able to text you back, say if they're sitting in class or if they're at work in a meeting. So, but the upside to having synchronous media is the benefit of time. And the media synchronicity theory argues that some channels offer greater synchronicity than others. So things like Snapchat are more synchronous than, say, sending a text message, which there's a delay on. So you can look at some of the richness and the naturalness. Some channels offer more video and vocal cues, like Snapchat. But one of the things that the social information processing theory talks about is that because we've lost some of that nonverbal and mediated communication, we make up with it with other clues, things like emojis that help us to understand what is actually meant. So what about some of the privacy and control we have? We need to be aware that we have the ability to control the privacy, but just because you have your social media account set to private does not mean it remains private. Messages have replicability, which means I can take a picture of your messages, even though you think they're going to disappear. I now have a picture and they're preserved forever. We also have control over what we post. We have the ability not to respond to what somebody posts. But the downside to this is that social boundaries can blur between work and our private life. Some people use their social media in such a way for their jobs, but other people, everything is included. So then we have the crowd. What is the power of the crowd? One is information sharing. Being able to go online and ask, hey, does anybody know a good dentist in this area? Makes it very easy to share information, but we have to make sure that we're finding valid information. So businesses also use social media like Slack, Microsoft Teams in order to share information, but we typically use it more for like social support. So peer-to-peer groups. If you have any kind of interest, any kind of health issue, you can probably find a support group online that handles that. It is also social capital. Being able to show what you can and can't do also influences social causes. So crowdfunding, things like the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS, where the challenge was originally initiated because putting ice over you mimics what the disease does to your body, in that your brain still functions, but it can't always control your muscles or your nerves. I think a lot of that was lost, but a lot of good money was raised and information was made available to people who weren't familiar with the disease. So that's how social causes can really utilize crowdfunding and digital media. So how do we overcome some of the digital challenges? One is the digital disparity. Realize that not everybody has the same access to internet services, to social medias as everyone else. And if you live in a rural part of this state, you probably have experienced this. There's also the fear of missing out. Because you're seeing what everybody else is doing, we tend to miss out on it. And your book mentions that it can even lead to envy and stalking. So I don't know that that's what starts the stalking, but I think if you are started there, social networks make it much easier. But we also have people who are trophy hunters. They miss out on what they're doing by trying to get the picture. Like the people who record the concert watching it through their phone. Why did you bother to go to a live concert if you're watching it through your phone? This also mentions digital deception. And these usually fall in either cyber attacks or doxing. Cyber attacks are like phishing, where they're trying to get information using your digital information to appear legitimate. We've all gotten phishing emails from the Prince of Nigeria who needs $1 million or is going to give us $1 million. Doxing, however, is mining someone's account and activity, searching for their personal information. So basically, you can do identity theft, or you can use that information to catfish somebody else with their identity rather than your own. So what we covered were the digital origins, the qualities of digital channels, the power of the crowd, and overcoming digital challenges. And that is chapter 2.